Welcome back to the channel everyone, UCS Productions or Adam here, back for another LEGO Star Wars video. And today we are going to be going through all of the minifigures that I used on my most recent mock, Bounty Hunters on Corusor. As you can see, we have a fair few here today, a big variety and some really cool ones. So I wanted to take this opportunity to give you guys a closer, more in-depth look at each one quickly and give you a bit of backstory about how I made them and where they came from and what their position in the mock actually is. Before we move into the video guys, real quick, if you do enjoy today's video, please consider pressing the like button so I know that you did enjoy it, and also consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any future updates. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. So we will start off with our Jedi. Now you may be thinking this is just Kanan Jarrus, but it is not meant to be Kanan Jarrus. This is essentially just a purist custom Jedi that I made. The only thing that is not purist actually is the lightsaber hilts. They're from Firestar Toys, and I just wanted to add a bit of extra detail, and I think these look awesome. And you also don't see the purple lightsaber used too much in Star Wars. So we do actually have the Kanan Jarrus minifigure head and hairpiece, and then going down through the minifigure we have a generic brown cape, and I believe this is one of the Obi-Wan minifigure torsos and printed leg pieces. The only difference is I've obviously swapped out the hand pieces for nougat coloured hand pieces. Next to him we have our battle scarred commander Gregor. This is actually a Clone Army Customs print, and this is obviously the camo version of him. I just think this has a lot more depth and detail to it, hence why I went for it, because it's basically the same price as the normal one, and I wanted that sort of war used look, if you get me, as well. But I just think this one looks awesome, and I'll definitely be using him in more mocks to come. Following on from our clone style minifigures, we have this 501st security guard. This is a pure Lego minifigure, but it has been decaled, and we have some custom things. But this is a really cool minifigure. It didn't cost too much, and I got it decaled by a good friend called Beanie Boy Bricks. You should definitely go and check him out. He does a lot of very cool decals, and he's very good at it. I also got this 501st style shield, which looks really cool. I've never seen that in Lego before. Saw it on Blue Harvest Bricks' decal page, and I thought I've got to have one of those. So we going around the minifigure, he does have arm printing, back printing, leg printing. If you take off the visor piece, you can see a bit more clearly. He has those two lines on the top of his head, and he then has two lines on his right leg. You can just see it there. Now this next minifigure is another pure Lego minifigure. This is official. It is the realistic Phase 2 style Clone Trooper. This has got to be one of my favourite Clone Troopers ever made. They just did this at World of Wonders. And the only modifications that I put on this minifigure is that Batman style utility belt, which I think is just a very nice subtle add-on of detail. And then we have a Clone Army Customs style like pistol. Then we also have this dog to the left, to the right of him. It actually comes with the solo speeder, and it's just a really cool dog. I felt like it goes really well with the Clone Trooper style. This is basically meant to be like a captain walking along with his like watchdog, or like his hunter, if you will. Last of all, going down that right hand side, we have another realistic Phase 2 Clone Trooper. Again, this is official. I really love these guys. I actually have quite a few of them, which you'll see in my next Clone Army update. But this guy literally had nothing changed to him apart from a special carbine blaster, because I just think these guns are very nice. You may have noticed that there are a couple of named minifigures in this mock, and you're probably thinking, why the hell are they in there? And essentially, two reasons. One reason, I just thought it would be quite funny to have a couple of nods at different time scales, because they're all meant to be sort of like waiting for a train to come or some kind of transport to take them to their next destination. And one of those characters that were on the platform was Shiru Imwi. I think I pronounced that correctly, but I may get slashed in the comments for that. I actually just think this is a really well done and detailed minifigure from Lego. Again, official Lego. This one is not a custom or a replica or anything. I love the waist cape that they gave him. I believe this is a one of a kind, and they did some really cool detailing. And I just love the fact that he's kind of like a blind samurai who really is in touch with the Force, but he's not essentially like a Jedi or anything. So this was just one cool minifigure. And then we have the famous Bespin Luke, and he does in fact have the bruised up eye. And if you look closely in the MOC, you will see that these guys are both having a little conversation up on the platform, and he does actually have the bruise, which was meant to be like a little nod. At once he'd literally just like had his duel with Darth Vader, and he'd like fallen through the hole, and he's ended up on this planet just chatting to Chiru. There's not really too much to say about him. He's just a very nice minifigure. Next up, we have our good friend Boolio. Again, one of the members of the team who was just on the platform, just waiting for well, he's actually buying a ticket at the time, I believe, is the position that I'd put him in. Again, he just looks like a really cool Star Warsy minifigure to have in the MOC, and there's not too many MOCs which I feel that you could include this guy in unless it was specific to him. So that's why I thought put him on a Star Wars train station because he's going somewhere, maybe to his next sort of mission or meeting a friend or something. Now this next guy I actually had a lot of fun with. He doesn't actually have a name. He is essentially a purist custom minifigure, and I used a few different minifigures. I've used the hairpiece from Ezra Bridger. I've then used the face piece from what I believe is a Nikto guard. I then used the torso and legs from a Naboo pilot of sorts, like a speeder pilot. And I've actually used one of C-3PO's arms, because I thought it'd be really cool to give him like a gold bionic arm style thing. And then he has a Mandalorian styled brown cape. Now altogether I think this minifigure, it just turned out lovely. He was meant to be like the market seller, like your average style, very Star Warsy looking market salesman, trying to just sort of, make some bread, selling interesting things like Jedi holocrons and gold bars and like motorized bomb tanks and stuff. You guys will see in the pictures, but essentially this is what he was meant to be. And I think I'm going to try and do this more often, but when you start pulling minifigures apart, obviously first of all you got the chance you could break them, and second of all you got the chance that you may never find all of the parts for all of your minifigures to put them back afterwards. So I'd advise to like leave all of the minifigures that you've mashed up in a pot, so when you're finished you can put it all back together with no hassles. This one is a little bit difficult to put on the platform, but we have our little friend the Porg here, and he was just meant to be like a little bird sort of in the background. I have never used this guy in a MOC before, so again I just thought it'd be really cute to have him like sat on one of the air conditioning units, like chirping away or something in the background. Again, this one doesn't really want to sit on the platform, so moving on to the top section, we then have like a little pit droid. He's just sort of like meant to be a maintenance droid that's hanging around the platform in case anything goes wrong on the platform. Next up, we have a Darth Maul Mandalorian. I forget what the specific name for these guys is, but this is one of the newest additions to my Lego Star Wars minifigure collection, and they're just an awesome minifigure. I would love to have seen them make this minifigure in 2021 or 2022. It would have been awesome to see if they'd done like leg printing and or arm printing. Anyway, this guy's obviously on the hunt. He is scouting around for his next prey because he's got his comlink out. This also is meant to be like a tracker, if you will. And then he's also got his scouting visor down to try and pinpoint any of his next targets. We then have his friend, his comrade. This guy's not really got anything too exciting, just really some custom CAC blasters, just to look a bit meaner. Mandalorians always love carrying heavy weaponry, if you didn't know, so essentially this is just his way of saying don't mess with me. This is probably my next favourite minifigures. I might do a quick top 3 at the end, or maybe like my custom purist minifigures, but this is another custom purist minifigure that I made. He is using Poe Dameron's Christmas hair that came in the advent calendar. He's then using the angry version of the face from the Naboo speeder pilot, which obviously the torso and the body was used on that other one. Then we have the Nikto guard's body, the torso piece, if you didn't notice. We also have Boba Fett's shoulder cape, and we have here his last kill, his last prey, and this is meant to be some kind of like a dinosaur that he's basically just absolutely massacred and skinned, and he's bringing back the bones of it, like the skeleton, just to prove that he killed this beast. And then on his back we have a backpack with a couple of Imperial credits. Obviously in the MOC you see him about to walk into that that door, that opening, and that's meant to be some kind of like a bounty hunter bar, something along the lines of what you saw in the Mandalorian, where you walk in and you've got all the bounty hunters in there sort of waiting for their next mission or going to collect for their last bounty. Last but not least, we then have Aurra Sing. Aurra Sing is one of our main minifigures in this MOC. As you can see, she is in the middle of having a duel with the Jedi. She was in the pictures in motion, sort of like doing a bit of a leap and roll situation. And yeah, she's just a really cool minifigure. You can tell that she's like an evil minifigure, do you know what I mean? Like the eyes and that like cheeky grin. And I really like the fact that they actually gave her leg printing as well, because at this time it wasn't all that common to get leg printing, I don't believe. She even has a bit of back printing, and I believe this is like a completely unique molded hairpiece as well, but it does work very, very well. But that is all of the minifigures. I actually made this custom minifigure like show stand, which I might do a little separate video on, because it also has like the whole Technic inside of it, and it's really well finished off. I've wanted these for quite a while, and the other day I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just going to make one. Anyways, I'm going to head to the outro, guys. Thank you guys all so much for watching today's video. I really hope you did enjoy it. It was actually a really good video for me to make. I wanted to show off quite a lot of different unique minifigures that you don't normally get to see in MOCs these days, unless they're like a specific kind of MOC. And I know that I don't make MOCs like bang one after the other all the time, so I wanted to just use some of these minifigures because they've been sitting around. I thought this was a perfect MOC to showcase like unique minifigures and test out custom purist things and different ideas, because this kind of MOC really allows you to do that. I love the idea of like a Star Wars planet where you've got your civilians and your people in the background, you know, because it doesn't then just like focus on the main two minifigures. It gives viewers a chance to actually go, oh, what's that in the background, you know, and then you get inspiration from that as well. Anyways, once again, if you guys aren't already subscribed to the channel, please consider hitting that big red button and checking out more of the content. I promise you won't be disappointed, and also it keeps you up to date for up and coming videos. Until then, guys, hit that like button, leave a comment in the section down below to let me know what you thought, and stay safe. Take it easy. Peace.